When asked what is the national dish of Singapore, the answers range from Hainanese chicken rice, mixed fruit and vegetable salad with peanuts and thick sauce known as rojak, to Peranakan-style curry noodles like laksa, or even kaya toast with hot tea. This is because of the cultural diversity that has blended into Singapore's identity. There may not be a specific national dish, but Singapore does have its national dining room, the Hawker Centre. Known for its variety, convenience and renowned cleanliness, hawker centres feature permanent food stalls lined up on both sides, each with a clear sign displaying the shop name, menu and prices. The central area is filled with tables and chairs for dining, which are usually fully occupied. Even on hot and humid days, typical of the equatorial climate, the shaded and rain-protected space, with fans and open sides for ventilation, provides comfort. Most importantly, the food is delicious, affordable and varied. This is the Hawker Centre, the dining hub for Singaporeans. KF Sito, a Singaporean food expert, takes us to explore a hawker centre he visits frequently. Sito describes hawker centres with a simple analogy. If Singapore were a home, the hawker centre would be the dining room. In a multicultural society like Singapore's, where the three main ethnic groups, Chinese, Malay and Indian, live together, along with foreign nationals who've come to work and settle, the dining room therefore features a colourful mix of various ethnic cuisines. During colonial times, hawkers or street vendors often set up stalls or carts to sell food in business districts and residential areas. These street food vendors provided convenience for consumers. On the other hand, they also caused problems for the city, such as lack of hygiene, waste and obstruction of traffic. After gaining independence from the United Kingdom in 1959 and being expelled from the Malaysian Federation 2 years later, Singapore, under the leadership of its first Prime Minister, Lee Kuan Yew, focused on developing this small, resource-poor island country for survival. The street food vendor was part of this development plan. Street vendors and carts scattered throughout the city not only made the place untidy, but also presented food hygiene issues due to the lack of proper storage and cleaning facilities. They also generated waste and food scraps that were discarded on the streets and into drains. Initially, Lee Kuan Yew intended to completely ban street food vending. Although it caused disorder and filth, however, it had become an essential part of life for most Singaporeans. The solution was not to ban or eliminate it, but to find a way for people to continue accessing this kind of food while ensuring order and good hygiene. The government thus established the Hawker Centres Upgrading Programme to design, develop and manage hawker centres. It required vendors to register, allocated space across communities for convenience without causing obstruction, and systematically installed necessary facilities, such as electricity and water supplies, refrigerators, drainage, waste disposal and seating. Strict hygiene standards for food preparation were also implemented. All of this within a space of 5 to 13 square metres per stall. All the hawkers needed to do was move their stalls into these designated areas.
The stall, they have, they have exhaust hoods, so they worry about pollution.
Right.
And then it's clean. Everything here is stainless steel, no wood. So that's compulsory. Everything you look is stainless steel. That is a requirement by the government for safety and hygiene. Because if there's a fire, wood will. Oh. Everything you look around here, you look around, they are almost fireproof.
Organising the hawkers is not easy though. Although Singapore is a small country, it has over 22,000 hawkers. It took the government almost 10 years to fully relocate street vendors and carts to the hawker centres. From the initial goal of creating hawker centres for cleanliness and order in the city and for the health of the people, another outcome is the unique food culture of Singapore.
If you want to see more great content from all over the world, please like the video, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you.
With an area of only 721 square kilometres, Singapore is the smallest country in Southeast Asia. Currently, the island nation has 119 hawker centres managed by the government. This means that for every 6 square kilometres there is a hawker centre offering delicious, clean and affordable food. Limited residential space and a busy schedule mean that most Singaporeans can't cook every meal for themselves. As a result, 7 out of 10 meals for most people are eaten in their other dining room, the hawker centre.
How often do you dine at a hawker centre?
Almost every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm going to eat outside in Singapore, I try to, even when I meet friends or like I hang out with my family, we try to go to the hawker centres.
Personally, my favorite hawker food would be like Chinese food, specifically like scissors cut curry rice. Yeah.
What would come to your mind if we talk about hawker?
Good food, convenience, and it's very economical. And almost every territory, every town in Singapore, you can get hawker food, good hawker food, convenient, yeah.
Hawker food is thus a part of almost every Singaporean's lifestyle. This makes it not just sustenance, but also part of the culture for Singaporeans. This culture is now, however, in some peril. If you look into the kitchens of the small stalls lined up in the hawker centres, over 90% of those cooking, frying and grilling in front of the stoves are elderly. Many are of retirement age, while young hawkers are almost non-existent. This issue stems from the fact that the Singaporean government stopped building hawker centres in the 1980s. As a result, people turned to office jobs, and with the advent of the internet in the 2000s, nobody wanted to become a hawker. Even hawkers themselves don't want their children to take up the trade. Despite the good income, it's hard, labour-intensive work, with no respite, typically requiring 12 to 14-hour days. Our Yolk's stall is located at the far end of a hawker centre, but this doesn't affect its popularity. Her prawn tempura with pumpkin sauce combines the freshness and crispiness of fried prawns with a rich pumpkin sauce, creating a delicate dish. Her coffee crabs feature aromatic coffee roasted with a few ingredients, creating a caramelized flavour that balances sweet and bitter, a taste unique to her stall. She alone developed and perfected this dish. Known as the Queen of Invention, our Yolk is celebrated not just for her innovations, but also for the quality and taste of her dishes, which rival restaurant-level food, but at street prices. At 70 years old, our Yolk still cooks most dishes at her stall. Though she wants to retire, her concern is that no successor can match her cooking skills, and that her recipes will be lost to time. This keeps her going. In recent years, the Singaporean government has recognised that when this generation of hawkers retires, the unique food culture might disappear. They've begun to highlight the interesting stories of hawkers to attract and inspire young people to take up the trade. Meanwhile, they have also been considering what other aspects of Singapore, beyond the 160-year-old botanic gardens recognised by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, should be acknowledged. As an advisor to the government, Sito suggested that Singapore's hawker food culture itself deserves UNESCO recognition.
So I said, hawker food culture. And everybody looked at me, what? No, but our neighbours also have very good food. I said, no, it's not about the food. Thailand may have good food, Malaysia may have good food, but they don't have our culture.
Right.
The government builds this to protect the thing, and they manage this. It's entrepreneurship, you know. If you have a skill, you can make money out of a store like this. And people here by now, you come on and eat. Who the hell would want to cook this at home? It's so difficult.
Yes.
You know, look at this sauce alone. Oh my God. And it is a tourism icon. People unconsciously love it, and I say, hey, listen, we must recognize this culture.
In March 2019, the government submitted an application to UNESCO for Singapore's hawker culture to be recognised as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2020. The nomination highlighted the Michelin star-level deliciousness, the art of food preparation and cooking from various ethnic roots, the legacy of secret recipes passed down through generations, and the diverse clientele who queue and dine together without discrimination. This scene is a common sight at any hawker centre, making them more than just food centres. They are community dining rooms and a vital part of Singapore's identity. In 2020, UNESCO finally recognised Singapore's hawker culture, highlighting its significance in the country's social fabric. Hawker centres are communal spaces, where Singaporeans from all walks of life gather to enjoy affordable and diverse street food. The government continues to support these centres, ensuring that they adapt to modern needs while preserving their traditional charm. Technology and the internet bring relentless changes to modern society. Many businesses emerge, generating massive revenue opportunities through technology, while others decline or even shut down due to these advancements. The food industry, which has a great impact on everyone's daily lives, is no exception. Particularly in food delivery service, numerous players enter the market, recognizing it as a lucrative segment within the food sector. This has led to the concept of cloud or shared kitchens. Smart City Kitchen is the first cloud kitchen service to launch in Singapore. It offers rental kitchen spaces solely for preparing food for delivery.
So this is the space for restaurants to come set up their business. There are modular kitchens behind each one of these doors, and restaurants typically set up their operations inside each kitchen and operate a brand. So for example, this is Lean Bento. We have Fat Burger here. You have Ayam Penyuria here. And so a lot of these are pretty popular brands in the city. And the idea for these kitchens is simple, right? It's that it takes a lot of money to start a restaurant with a storefront, hire people, and have operations running. We want to take out all the complexity from a business and operations perspective away from starting a restaurant and just let the restaurant focus on creating good food. So in many ways, if you think about the restaurant business as operations and art, we manage all the operations and all the art is made here.
Opening a restaurant involves countless details and considerable expense, with the right ingredients and skilled cooks being critical components. Having funding, unique recipes and talented chefs does not, however, guarantee a restaurant's success. Many people dream of opening a restaurant, but lack the funding or the courage to invest. Shared kitchens address this need by reducing investment risks, allowing vendors to focus on sales without worrying about hidden costs. Additionally, existing restaurants that wish to expand their reach can do so without the need to look for additional locations. Smart City Kitchen launched their service in 2020 and initially provided 30 kitchens. Of these, 24 were fully contracted, with several more in negotiations. Some were existing restaurants looking to expand, hawker stalls, and newcomers with no prior restaurant experience. Leaf Chief, a contemporary dumpling shop run by 28-year-old Fiona, is one of them. Despite having no prior restaurant experience, she and her father wanted to share her grandmother's dumpling recipe with others. Many young Singaporeans today are unfamiliar with this traditional Chinese dish, and Fiona wants to preserve this culinary heritage.
A lot of them were quite surprised that, we kind of changed the flavors from what they're, used to. And obviously, some critiques might say, oh, this is not like the original, or, you're kind of like changing something that has been, so steeped in tradition. And I think, well, there is always that room for exploration. I think that's the thing with like food. So because food is a reflection of like culture, and like we really want to show that, with globalization, we wanted to bring that out as well. So I think like so far the response has been fantastic. We've had like quite a lot of like younger people finding interest back in such a dish. So that's really good.
Fiona chose to open her shop with Smart City Kitchen to mitigate investment risk. Opening a stall in a hawker centre would not only require a significant initial investment, but would also have limited space. At Smart City Kitchen, she only specified the kitchen equipment she needed, and within 2 weeks, everything was installed and ready for her to start. The emergence of new businesses like Smart City Kitchen, supported by technology, raises concerns that traditional hawker stalls might decline. Smart City Kitchen, however, views itself as increasing growth opportunities for hawkers without adding burdens.
We don't see ourselves as a threat at all. We see ourselves as a partner for the hawkers to expand the business. The hawker world in Singapore, the hawkerpreneur industry, is extremely challenging. Most hawkers in Singapore are getting older, and they find it difficult to find a way to expand their business, pass on their recipes, and find ways to continue the strong and great heritage of the Singapore hawker culture. What we want to do is provide a way for them to expand their business, create a lower risk way for them to continue growing and continuing.
Sito acknowledges that the popularity of hawker culture is declining. Hawker stalls and centres won't disappear from Singapore, but the number of vendors will decrease. Smart City Kitchen or shared kitchens and delivery services won't destroy the hawker culture, though. Being a hawker means doing everything by themselves. It's not just about having a great recipe and cooking skills. It involves meticulous and labour-intensive work. Besides cooking, it includes setting up and decorating the stall attractively, presenting appealing dishes, pricing appropriately, and managing daily supplies and kitchen operations. Smart City Kitchen takes over these various tasks, allowing hawkers to dedicate their time and care to cooking. Although this might slightly dull the vibrant atmosphere of hawker centres, food delivery services and shared kitchens can help preserve and continue the tradition of Singaporean hawker food.
If you grew up with a food culture, stay true to your food culture. Enjoy other food culture, but you know where your home base is. This is my home base. Then people will know, yeah, you have cultural identity, culinary identity, and people will respect you.
For over 80 years, street food and hawker stalls have evolved to support the modern urban and social fabric of Singapore. They meet all the necessary criteria: flavour and variety, cleanliness and convenience, as well as affordability. While new technologies and emerging businesses may bring changes, the National Dining Room, the Hawker Centre, will continue to be a pillar of Singaporean society. It will preserve its diversity, convenience and affordability, remaining an integral part of daily life in Singapore.